how's it going? My name is Henry and welcome back to the channel for our first aircraft review for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Now, yes, we are back in the sim, ladies and gents, and yes, we are looking at the CRJ-550/700 series. Now, yeah, so you technically get two aircraft, although it's basically the same aircraft in this bundle. What we're going to be going is we're going to be looking through pretty much everything today and see if it's worth you buying it right now in its current condition. I believe the price is just above $60 Canadian, which is pretty much on average for these kinds of aircraft. So before people start complaining how expensive it is, it's actually a pretty good price for a regional jet these days for flight sims. That's just the cost of getting into the hobby. Now, so we'll hop in today, and before actually we start flying, we'll just go over what you get in the package. So again, just looking at the brief, again, you get multiple liveries. We'll go all over those. You have a lot of different options, and there's some really cool things I want to show you once we're in the sim. But again, you have your HUD, you have a lot of different systems simulated here. You also get the January-February 2021 AirAC, so you get up-to-date nav data, which is great. I mean, especially if you're more professional simming or whatever you want to call that. We'll go over the flight model, everything else. But yeah, let's jump into my hangar and take a quick look before we start flying. Alrighty, here they are. We have both the 700 ER as well as the 550 ER. Well, extended range. So let's start off with the 700 series. So let us go back to the hangar. Let us load the aircraft here. Look at that beautiful looking aircraft. I have to admit, Aerosoft, as usual, does a great job rendering all of these looks. The cockpit, again, looking very nice. We're getting a little bit of a preview here. This I want to go over once we get into the sim, but again, the aircraft itself looks great. So while we're here, let's look at the different liveries that you can get with this bundle here. So starting with the 700, ooh, bit of a weird glitch there. You have Lufthansa all the way down to Delta to Alaska. Let's just take a quick look at Alaska, then we'll switch to the 500 series here. Again, looks absolutely great. Beautiful jobs on the liveries here. Let us switch to the 550. Now, the 550 has a little bit less going on in regards to liveries, although you do have a private jet livery. So I think it's only... Is it Lufthansa or who else? One second. Oh, United. Okay, so yeah, so the United, as well as kind of a private aircraft look, which I kind of like, you know, if you can always dream about having your private jet. Again, these are indeed regional aircraft, so you aren't going to be... This is a weird glitch, by the way, for this aircraft in the hangar. Like, one of the views is messed up. I don't know which one. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can dream of having your own aircraft here. So let's actually hop into the sim and actually see how this aircraft looks in the actual simulator. Alright, so here we are in the sim right now. We are on the good old runway 23 at Toronto Pearson, and going to go over to Montreal today, YUL. But yeah, as you can see, we have the good old American Eagle livery on the aircraft right now. And again, the amount of detail in this model is absolutely great for a $60 aircraft. Like, you get all the rivets, you get everything else from different views. The heat effects are, I'd say they're up to standard. Like, you do get a little bit of weird things going on at higher speeds, but overall, I think they did a great job with the liveries. Everything else looks good. Looks good. And yeah, so overall on the outside of the aircraft, like, even if I just get some flaps in here and you get a little bit of speed brake spoilers going, you still do have a great amount of detail, even in here, which sometimes aircraft creators forget to do. They still have all, like, the rivets and colors within the slats and flaps as well. So that's really good to see, especially like all the little details, and up here under the slats. It's really cool to see that amount of detail, including in our wing lights as well. And of course, you can see inside the aircraft, you have all like your little details on the livery itself, externally. It looks really, really nice. Now, before we go any further, I will show you what our graphics settings are today. Let's go into general, I believe it's general graphics, yeah. So as you can see, I'm running high-end today, so while not the ultimate, these are my settings right now, if you want to compare to your own computer, because I know that there's a lot of different flight simulators out there, or simmers out there. So yeah, I do get like a weird reflection off of the engine, but honestly, like that's probably just the heat. Wannabe heat protection, just kidding. Okay, so let's go inside. Now, two things to go right off the bat here is that, firstly, this cockpit looks great. Like, again, let me... Oh. As I destroy the aircraft. Let's get into the good details here. Like, again, like, the amount of detail that Aerosoft did here is way better than the base Dreamliner and 747 and everything else. Of course, you would expect that for a paid aircraft, but I mean, like, all the textures, they have done a great job, and I believe most of the systems work as well, which we will get into in a minute here. But again, one of the funny things is that if you watched one of my first flight sim videos, I'm not sure you can hear that on YouTube, but the passenger signs do work, and you can hear them as if they were going on in the cabin, which is a very nice touch, already way across the finish line in regards to the other aircraft. Now, the big thing, besides the HUD, which, yes, it also exists up here. Now, the big thing that this aircraft has, that the Microsoft creators, Aerosoft really missed out on, is this. Call it your iPad, flight computer, whatever. As soon as you click this, Aerosoft is actually giving you a tablet to frickin' work off of. This is great. It's already a step way above the Dreamliner, everything else Microsoft and Aerosoft have given us. But again, it has everything that you would really have here as a pilot, minus the weather apps and everything else. Like, you have all your checklists, you have your perf. So literally you can set the amount of passengers, so like, I don't know, whatever, forward cargo, everything else in kilos, you can switch it between pounds. As you can see, it will move your center of gravity indicator, and you can select your different flaps 20, flaps 8, you can set your runway conditions, everything else, and it will change all these, and you can set all directly. Oh. You can tell how much I've missed just having a little tool like this. We'll go over these later, but these are all other options. So again, you have ground power unit, you have all your doors, you have your cabin lights that you can play around with, your stairs. Actually, heck, we can actually do that right now. And again, just showing off the amount of detail this aircraft has. Like, even on the stairs, I mean, like, you have individual rivets, which is absolutely great. You have the internal aircraft modeled as well. Now, before I get too far off topic here, yes, they actually do have announcements. So, like, when you start your descent and takeoff, things like that.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Why, thank you. And as you can hear, as I was about to say, they have announcements, and that's great. So yeah, like descent, takeoff, engine start, things like that. Those are all announced. And that is so... I'm sorry, it's a small detail, but that's great. You also have your, I believe your rat, you have your... hopefully you don't need it, but you have your oxygen masks, you can refill the oxygen, and of course, your options. So like, if you're metric imperial, be metric. You also have your IRS, so like your reference system, align time, which is something I have not seen in a pay-for aircraft before. So again, in real life, it would take a few minutes for the system to align, but of course, since you're playing a sim, you can just say instant or quick if you don't want that level of detail, which is fine. Everyone's good. You can also power off the tablet and save your batteries so you can play Angry Birds later. But alas, that's all I'm going to touch on this for now. Just to know that this is a very welcome... I wish they made a plugin that you could just use it for other aircraft like the Dreamliner and everything else as well. Now, going from left to right in the cockpit, everything else does pretty much work. Your floor lightings for each pilot, they look great during the night too. You have your different floodlights, everything else. Again, everything pretty much works. It's great. You have your little timer here, so you can do your rate 1 turns in jet. You can move this up and down. You have your little knee board that's not on your knee. It's great. You have all your master warning buttons. Everything else works. The sounds, as you heard earlier, are absolutely great. I mean, like, if I move on over to, like, our little comms panel here, easily a great system that you can play around with. I mean, like, you can squawk ident if you want. I don't really know what else you want to do. You go in, you can play around with your ATC, flight ID, everything else. Yeah, you can unlock the door or deny the flight dispatcher trying to get in. Again, very easy aircraft to turn off as well. Literally, boom, boom. We'll get into the FMS and everything in a second here. Again, all your lights, everything else do work. For some reason, external lights, strobes are default off, even on the runway, which is kind of weird. Like I said before, you do have your heads-up display. Pretty much all the other systems, they do work. Again, you can turn off things, turn things on. Again, we already talked about the passenger lights, ELT. The autopilot works, thank goodness for that. That's a good thing to have. And of course, you can go back and get coffee, but overall, a great amount of detail. And even look behind you. Just the amount of detail. I am very impressed with this model, as we should be when you pay a lot of money for something. So now let's get this set up here, because the sim doesn't really set up FMS and anything else. So as you can see, we have, it's not current, it's almost April in real life, but again, it's better than like going to X-Plane and it could be years old. So yeah, pretty much FMS, everything else works fine. Let's do CY, Z, and destination. Now, I'm going to be using skyvector.com to do the legs here, not the internal Microsoft Flight Sim Flight Planner. So, let me just see if you can see this. So basically, this is what I'm using right now. I made a video about it. Check the link to see. Okay, so now that everything else is good, so as you can see, the full system works. Like, and what's a good alternate for Montreal? Let's just say, oh yeah, we're going no alternate IFR today. We don't need an alternate. All right, let's do a quick dorky takeoff here. Oh. Every time I use the mouse wheel, I forget that it works to hide. Gosh darn it! You come back here. Thank you. Okay, so let's do this stuff. Let's do a quick takeoff, and we can see how the aircraft kind of reacts here. It's nice how they have the HUD for an only certain view position only. So I'm not even going to put in any more details here. We're just going to go for a full. Out. So as you can see, the whole computer works in regards to the warning systems. Yeah. Overall, again, I can't really speak too much about the aerodynamics here, but of course you do still have your V1, V2 speeds, everything else can be pre-programmed for you. Actually, let's see how the sound effects work. Getting off there, yeah. Alright, so let's get reduced power there. Let's go up. Get that gear back up here.
American 3241 contact departure on 127.57. 127.
And as you can see here, yes, the aircraft looks beautiful. Slats going in, gear fully up. You still have those wonderful. No. I'm showing off the aircraft right now. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, the aircraft looks absolutely wonderful. The reflections, the bitmaps, everything else is done very, very well. And again, I'm impressed. They did a really nice job, especially for a regional aircraft here. And yeah, it looks terrific. Alright guys, it looks like you fell asleep there. My videos aren't that bad, come on now. So we've made it to, we're actually going for Mirabel today. Now, just slowing down the aircraft here, because I just want to show you something cool, and that the aircraft is actually really good at slow flight. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. let's just actually speed up here. We're actually just about to land. You can see the airport way over yonder in the distance here. Now, let's get us back down. Let's get a full flaps into position here. And again, I find it a fun little aircraft. Well, it's not little, but compared to like a 737 or something, it's average size. I don't know, it's regional aircraft size, okay? Yeah, the aircraft is actually really fun to fly. I find it fun. I like regional aircraft because, again, it's a little bit more fast-paced than your medium or long-haul aircraft. Because, again, shorter flights, right? So you can get more flights in the day and whatnot. But overall, like, the aircraft is very responsive. I think that they did a great job with the flight model. Not that I can really say anything. I don't have my ATPL or anything. But overall, like, even on the final approach, like, it looks great. The heat effects, you can see the blobbing a bit, so they aren't really fully like 100%, I'd say. But I still think they did a nice job. Sorry, I'm doing this on a manual approach here, just to show you guys some of the cool little features this aircraft has. Now again, we are landing. Let us get this guy back down. Let's get our little HUD back down for landing here. Well, let's aim for around 135 for our approach. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not really having any issue flying this aircraft manually. The aircraft is absolutely fine. It does, again, have its full ILS package or everything else that you would expect to have in an aircraft these days. But, I don't know. I find it a fun airplane to fly, especially when you're kind of going its limits, so like Toronto to Denver or somewhere. Again, it's a real joy. Let's get this aircraft on the ground here and see what else we can play around with. We'll show off what we can do once we've taxied off the aircraft here. Now, the one little detail that seems to be I'm not sure if it's a bug or whatnot, but in the third-person display where we are now, and it's kind of weird flying the aircraft manually. Man, this thing drops speed fast. You see how fast that went? Yeah, there's two glitches in this screen that I see, and that's the flaps indicator on the bottom right doesn't show that we're actually full flap right now. For some reason it's stuck at 0, and the engine indicators don't actually have like their arcs active, and for some reason the engine's flickering up and down. This is the only aircraft that I've had this problem with. Again, that's the only real bug that I've found so far anyways from having this aircraft for a few days. Yeah, everything else is A-okay. And again, you can see we do have a slight crosswind here, so we're kind of crabbing into that wind, but yeah, overall, those are the only two real bugs that I have found so far for myself. So yeah, so now that we're a little bit high, we can kind of show the power of the spoilers here. So let's go external again so we can see these puppies deploy here. So right now we're just about kind of stalling speed at around 123 knots. The spoilers itself, if I just go back 0, kind of maintain a glide slope, they're alright. You know, they aren't massive spoilers or anything, but if I just get rid of them, you see a little bit of a difference. I'm not really sure you can kind of like really crab this aircraft that well, but yeah, let's get our speed back up to safe airspeed here, and let's get back onto the glide path. But yeah, no, overall, I'm satisfied with the flight characteristics from a flight sim point, anyways. Aircraft is definitely a fun flyer, that is for sure, and you do get a free pen here. As you can see, this white little pen next to our HUD right there on the left. That's a very, very nice feature. You can write all the memes and metars that you get during a flight. There we go. So anyways, I'm just going to recover this flight so then we can kind of get back on flight path here. I'm not really going to be showing anything else until we get on the ground. So again, last check, let's get those gear down. Let's see this wonderful gear animation here. Again, nice and smooth, many rates of the frame.
1,000.
And again, we are approaching our minimums. Again, No alternate IFR. We are A-okay here, folks. And again, coming on in. Let's get our airspeed back up to around 130. Again, we're kind of high on that approach, but that's okay. Just wanted to show you some of the flaps and spoilers there.
Pull up 200.
There we go.
Sync rate.
Yeah, it's okay.
100.
50, 40.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
It's always weird switching between internal and external cameras when trying to fly something manually. Now let's just get off the runway here, in case if there's anyone else, and let us just take a quick look-see at the other cool features that we have with this aircraft. So if it's...
American Tree, 241 exit, runway when able.
I am. Stop pressuring me. Okay.
American Tree, 241 contact ground on 121.8.
Let's just stop here.
Going to 121.8, American Tree 241.
Okay. So now that we're here, no one else is gonna come. This is absolutely fine for a little demonstration here. Now again, this aircraft is very well done. So let's go over the few cool things that you can also do here. So you can go to aircraft, and as we showed before, once we get our chocks in, you can do a few other cool things. So we can have ground power cart, you can open your doors if you wanted to. Actually, we should probably turn off the screw it, let's just turn off the engines in a non-chalant way here. One sec. Boop. There you go. So you do have ground power, you can open your service door, your main door, your cargo doors, other cargo, you can have a ground air cart, you can play around with your cabin lights if it's during the day or night. You can pretty much do whatever you want here. Let's take a quick look at everything kind of exposed. Yeah. Even the internal cargo bay, they have detail in there. Look at that. It's great. Brilliant. Looking good. They have full chocks in here. Oh gosh, come on. There you go. Let's turn that off. Oh, I know I'm not doing it right. Alright, but yeah, so overall, I'm very impressed with this aircraft. They've done a wonderful job with it. Just wait for those turbines to stop spooling. But yeah, so you can stow your passenger air masks, everything else. You can do the full 9 yards. You can look inside. Refill the crew cabin oxygen masks if you want. You do have your different thingamajiggers here. And there we go, folks. We're going to be ending in the 500. Now, the big question is this aircraft worth the buy? And in my humble opinion, I actually say yes. If you like regional aircraft or just want to try something new, then $60 Canadian actually gets you a really nice package. 2 similar aircraft, but very dynamic in the sense that if you haven't really tried regional flying before, or if it's something you absolutely love, you might find something that you really like. Again, right now we're in the private livery right now, private aircraft. But you know what? The nice little features, the nice little details, they've done a great job with this aircraft. Aerosoft, kudos to you. As well as I really like the idea that they actually included the iPad or computer or whatever you want to call it. This makes life a lot easier. I'm surprised Microsoft and Obsobo didn't do this. Definitely looking forward to when this comes to the Dreamliner, 47, everything else. But again, I actually recommend this. It is a nice piece of kit you get for $60. It's a nice little aircraft. Well, compared to like 47 or an Airbus. But again, they did a really nice job. Definitely tell that they put their time into it. Again, just a few little bugs. Again, the engine and flap indicator, as well as the camera and the hangar view. But other than that, I haven't really found any bugs with it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in trying this kind of aircraft, or are you more of a long hauler or a general aviation type aircraft, or military, or helicopter one day? Let us know in the comments below. Do you have this aircraft? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know why. If this video, or shall I say, when this video gets to 1,000 likes, we will head on to the next Flight Simulator 2020 review. Personally took me a while just because, again, I still have a few issues with Flight Sim 2020, but you know what? This is what you guys wanted, so we did it. I know they have a 737 MAX in the store now. Isn't getting a lot of good reviews because it looks like it's more... I don't think they modeled a lot of systems in it, to be honest. I don't know how accurate it is. So, hence why the lower review rating. But yeah, out of 5 stars, I probably give this one, like, 4.5. Like, I think they did a nice job of it. But anyways, thanks again for flying with us today, everyone. As always, fly safe and happy landings. As I'm waiting for my crew to get me my Tim Hortons coffee here. Anyway, see you guys later. I'll just be waiting here for my coffee.